Hello, everyone. Dr. Duggan, primary care doc, trained in family and adolescent medicine. The patient may present and say, Doc, I know I'm not pregnant, but where's my period? Let's talk about it. So, here are a few things to consider in these scenarios. Number one, has there been an increase in one's stress level? That increase in cortisol can lead to the suppression of other hormones that are needed to produce, for instance, your estrogen that's required for your periods. So, could that be an issue? Number two, are we dealing with a dramatic change in your weight, whether up or down? And particularly for weight that has decreased in our teenagers, we want to look for a female athlete triad, which can consist of amenorrhea, no periods. It can consist of disorder eating, like anorexia, where there's a severe restriction in calories or excessive exercise, as well as a decrease in bone mineral density, leading to osteoporosis or possibly stress fractures. So we want to look for that in like our cheerleaders or ballerinas or gymnasts as well. Could there also be a thyroid issue, whether it's hyperthyroidism or hypothyroidism, so too high or too low? Both of those can affect one's metabolism as well as the hormones that are needed for our periods. Moving right along, PCOS. PCOS, when you have excess in androgens, so testosterone levels can be high. That in turn can influence our periods. But also with PCOS, we have other um, metabolic issues that come into the mix, particularly rather obesity. So we're looking at changing our weight that's going up. Also, we're looking at things like acne or hirsutism, which is excess hair that can be presented in those cases. Next, are we on some type of hormonal therapy that may be progestin only, such as progestin only pills or the implant like Nexplanon, or even an IUD, an intrauterine device that has hormones in it? Those all function in a way that can cause disruptions or changes in a lady's menstrual cycles. And lastly, something to consider with not having periods but not being pregnant is considering the side of the spectrum that we're on in our period life. What I mean by that, when you're starting your periods, or either are we towards the end of our periods, like with menopause. So at the start of one's period, called menarche, during that time, it can take up to a couple of years before one's period becomes regulated, as everything has to get on track from here down to the lady parts. Everything has to get on the same page. As we're transitioning to menopause in a state called perimenopause, our periods can start to act erratic as well, where they may be more irregular, come infrequently, skipping months at a time. So, could that be a sign of one entering menopause? And so their periods aren't coming as regularly? It sure can. This isn't an all encompassing coverage of where our periods have gone, but it is a starting point to consider and to discuss further with your healthcare professional and with your doctor. So I hope this has been helpful. Here in Health, Dr. Duggan. Bye.